Kevin told you he wasn't gonna wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision.
I feel like it was, all he did, for almost 3 hours, he exposed that Hollywood was corrupt. We knew that. Didn't we know that already? I also get very weird and maybe a little uncomfortable when I hear men gossip like this. That's another part of it. Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. Happy New Year. We've been gone. You guys happy to see us again?
No.
No? Okay. No. This is our first video back for the new year, and I'm looking at all the DMs and stuff like that, and I'm seeing the clips you guys are sending us. And of course, it's the Katt Williams situation, right? And so I guess we just talk about Katt Williams things. I've actually seen some people talk about this thing, and I think we have a little bit of a different take on this. I do want to say that Katt Williams is hilarious. He is funny. My favorite comedian is Dave Chappelle. And I would put Katt Williams kind of up right at the top there because, I don't know, he's a good roaster. He can roast. He can roast people on the spot, and I like that about him. But we did see it because you guys sent us all the clips and all the little things about Ludacris, and he talks about Steve Harvey. He talked about everybody. No one was safe for Katt Williams in this particular interview. But yeah, so the clip that you guys sent us was a Ludacris one. I'll put the clip up here so you guys can see. We'll watch that. It's just a small clip, and then we'll go ahead and talk about all of this. And you guys also sent us clips with the Taraji situation too. It's celebrity clips this week, so we'll get into that as well.
Are you related to Luda?
No. So there was a crossroads where we were both invited to an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us. We were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person, they said, was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. And that's how the conversation happened. One of those persons turned out to be Ludacris, and the other person turned out to be Katt Williams. Now, one person ended up with a light-skinned, ugly-faced wife that's never done it. Remember I told you that if I say that, it applied to 7 people?
Yes.
It's part of what they give you. Okay? I didn't get it. I'm not mad about it.
How much money they give? 200?
Sir, Fast and Furious is on what number right
10.
now?
10 more. 200 million. I might need to get me one of them old women that look the same.
That's what they all end up saying at the end of the day. Kevin told you he wasn't gonna wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh. But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you? It's okay. It's all right.
You guys, so I feel like we're not gonna make any friends in 2024. So I do have some criticism of this interview. I did see a lot of people's takes on this, and I know people, what it was that a lot of people are saying, he exposed a bunch of celebrities, I think it was like Ricky Smiley and Kevin Hart and what's his name, Steve Harvey. So several people he kind of went on and on about. People were saying that, it's some big exposure, some big revolution that he exposed these people. And I feel like, did he? Real exposing is really the people, not the celebrities. This exposing of the people who are actually behind the scenes doing a lot of damage to a lot of people, you know what I mean? And have been doing that for many years, Yeah. I feel like it was, all he did, for almost 3 hours, he exposed that Hollywood was corrupt. We knew that. Didn't we know that already? I thought we knew that. Did we know that Hollywood is perverted and demonic? And how many times have people really talked about that? He didn't really expose anything. He just called out his colleagues. What I was wondering, with no receipts, by the way. Yeah. Just hearsay. It's gossip. You know what I mean? And honestly, when I hear Katt talk about this Illuminati situation, so he's in the industry. I actually believe a lot of what Katt is saying. Okay, I actually believe that there's a lot of obviously odd things that happen in within all these celebrities that he mentioned. But I do feel like there's a part that I think a lot of people are missing, and the part is that I'm talking about like the producers, the directors, the agents, the managers.
I think it's just more interesting to people because we don't know
Know
those
the people,
But I
right.
think we probably do.
Yeah, we probably do.
You know what I mean? I know he knows it because,
Yeah.
as he said in the video, he had to turn down $50 million 4 times.
Yeah.
Which means that he knows who these people are and
Right.
that work behind the scenes, but he won't dare expose them.
Yeah.
He will expose the people that, you know, are more vulnerable, you know, like his colleagues. But he's not going to expose, just like the Jeffrey Epstein list, we aren't really going to know whatever really happened because the people on that list are probably on that list. Those people will never be exposed, or you know, Shay and Katt Williams be floating in some river somewhere. So we all know that. I don't see what he exposed. I think that's what I'm trying to figure out. To me, it seemed more self-serving.
Yeah. Because even when we were talking, you're right.
I don't know why he was doing that. See, I mean, when you say something like this. Like we didn't know, like we didn't know that Kevin Hart shot to fame too quickly. Like we didn't know Tyler Perry has $1 billion for what. You know what I mean? Like these people who just have all this money out of nowhere, Taylor Swift. You know, all of these people, like those have been people who have been speculated for years, but there is no real evidence, and you're never going to have that evidence. And he didn't even have receipts. He just was gossiping. Yeah, sitting there for 3 hours. Gossiping about people with no receipts, and we just accept it as fact because we like gossip. Everybody, the world likes gossip. That's the only reason they got 30 million views. Is because because we accept things as truth when it's weird.
I guess I didn't understand, like Kara was saying, I didn't understand the purpose and the point of doing this, is what it is. Because like Kara was saying also, there's a lot of, you know, children in the industry, in the entertainment industry. So this is the bigger concern, right? The children in the entertainment industry, and then even like the younger people in the industry that are getting taken advantage of because they're just being kind of like boisted out there for us to see. So I feel like the real exposure, I guess, you know, where he could do some real good is talking about those people. Again, the managers, the agents, the directors, the producers, the executives, these people that we know are doing extremely corrupt things to vulnerable people and luring them into a industry and then, you know, tainting them, you know, especially young people. I feel like that would be more of the flex. I don't think that to me, I didn't see all the talking about other people as like to me, a flex. I also get very weird and maybe a little uncomfortable when I hear men gossip like this. Like that's another part of it, is that it's not just that, because he could very well be right about these people. Like I'm not saying he's not, but it's not that. It's like, but why? Like why did you do that? And we're 30. How many people have watched it? Close to 30 million or whatever it is, or something like that. It's a high number. I think in the first 24 hours he had 12 million. His Club Shay Shay, this video had 12 million views on there within 24 hours. So whenever I see something like that, I always immediately say, well, what's going on in the background here? Because while we all have eyes on this, it serves as a distraction for something. It always is like that. You know what I mean? Right. I don't know what the distraction is. There's something's happening where they felt the need to put this forward. This wasn't just like by accident. They wanted people's eyes on something else, and they got it. You know what I mean? But I don't know what that is. But there's something happening in the background because they wanted to distract us all and give us this. But I didn't really see the purpose.
There was no smoking gun. There was nothing like that. And I kept watching it because I didn't know if we were going to do a show about this or not. Right. But I figured I got to watch it.
We had a lot of
I don't want people to say, oh, you didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I know.
But then again, I wanted to turn it off because I thought to myself, this is a really long podcast. And he is talking. He's basically doing stand-up. Yeah. I mean, Katt Williams did stand-up for 3 hours. I mean, he's funny. He's very funny. But the truth is that you didn't even come with receipts. You didn't. I mean, even let's just say if he did talk about the producers, you still have to come with receipts, or it's just hearsay. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he talked about the fact that Martin Lawrence wanted to work with him, tried to make him wear a dress. He tried to pretend like he tried to insinuate that black men are being depicted as in dresses. Yeah. I'm like, well, you were depicted as a pimp. Yeah. What? I mean, how are you any better? Your whole shtick was
That's
your
it,
claim to
yeah.
fame. I mean, like he was in every character he plays.
It's pretty much that kind
He
of.
plays a certain type of man. You know what I mean? That is not good. How is a pimp any better than a man wearing a dress?
Mm-hmm. 'Cause I don't see it. I don't see how
You
it's any
walked
different.
around with a permed hair.
Yeah. So.
You know what I mean? Permed hair, gaudy clothes, jewelry, pimping women around. So I don't understand how you doing that for a movie
Yeah. Is any
different than these
what they're
people
doing.
wearing dresses. And again, if there's something more like nefarious, something really bad, then unfortunately you have to come with the receipts.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that I know he knows who those people are.
I know.
But he won't ever say those people. Nobody will. No one will ever. Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell has been put to prison for pimping out young women. Yet all these kids that were pimped out, all these young girls that were pimped out, or possibly children as well, and yet the client list just slowly trickles out. They give you a little bit so you can feel satisfied. I think they named some more names. I think what's her name, Cameron Diaz was named on this, but she's now saying I didn't know him. You know what I mean? So of course, and the thing is, unless there's video or there's something that we can look at to say, then really it's not going to matter.
It really would, preferred if someone of his stature would have came out and talked about the real people. Because to me, I feel like Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, these people, like, I don't, look, these people are all also, by the way, they're all adults. So they're all adults going into the industry. So if these men and women or whatever did something wrong to, or did something immoral for fame and sold their soul for fame, this is their choice. They're not little children. You know what I mean? So I don't think that was really, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that we just get distracted so much is what it is.
And
like,
honestly, it wasn't even about like things that were really something like a pedophile.
That's what I'm saying.
Would be
yes,
more
exactly.
important. It was about men wearing dress, grown men choosing to wear a dress. If they want to wear a dress to humiliate themselves,
then go right ahead.
Then they can do that. Whatever they're doing, they have to take it up with their God.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean? But if we're not going to see like facts, then you are really just sitting there
real change,
gossiping about things that happened really 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even like current stuff. It was like mostly 20 years ago. Now the second part that I have a problem with is when people out people, but then when they talk about their life.
Yeah.
How he was cryptic about his parents.
Yeah.
He was cryptic about the fact that he went to Miami.
There's a lot of holes in the story.
I'm like, so you mean to tell me you're 13 years old with a dog, with a little baby pit bull, and you've got what $2,000 he said he had, and he was hitchhiking basically to Miami or California,
right?
And you mean nothing happened there? Do you know how many young prostitutes hang out at truck stops? Girls that are 13 and 14. So this little boy that's 13 years old with a little dog. You know what I mean? And then he just kind of acts cryptic about his life, his children that he adopted, you know what I mean? He just wouldn't answer solid questions.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, like, even with our show, when we first did our show, we aired our stuff.
Yeah,
I aired everything really about me because I know that when you do a show about things, you have to be trying to transparent. So when people then want to tell everybody else about what all the dirt everyone else has been doing, but then you don't want to talk about your own life in a real way.
That's the problem right there.
You know?
If you guys have watched this for a while, you've seen in our videos, I know some of you guys are new, have seen in our videos, you know that we're really kind of like open books. Obviously we keep some things private in our life, but I'm just saying, like, some of the subjects that we talk about are very deep, and very deep, abuse situations and things like that. So, but we tell our story. If we're going to do a show like this, that's going to have some conversations that are going to be hard to talk about, it's important for us to talk about our own personal experiences and not just gloss over, our life, which is why we're so open with what we talk about, right? So when I see someone like Katt Williams talk about other people's lives and Steve Harvey's being homeless and how that's not true and this and that and Faison, and he's talking about all these people, I'm like, about their lives, like how they got into the industry and what their road to success was and all. He's talking about their lives, right? But he's not talking about his in like a real way. You see what I'm saying? Like there's too many holes in it. And I have a problem when people do that. I know this is not popular. What we're saying right now, because there's so many people that are just loving Katt right now, and everything they said. I know that what we're saying is not going to go over well with a lot of people because, people, they're not going to be able to separate, that part of it from maybe some parts that people missed. I think people missed important things in what he was saying because they're distracted by the gossip part of what he was saying. Like when he was talking about his children and having women and stuff around his children, he didn't, like that. These types of things are like, I put a listening ear to. Like, you have these children, like these kids, and you're okay with still having a bunch of, like he said it, a bunch of different women around his children. He didn't mind it.
So do you have a problem? Do you have a problem bringing women around your kids?
No, not then or now. I've always lived with several women. Like, I'm known for
several?
That. Yeah.
Like more than one?
I've already told you that I prefer the company of women to the company of men. So if I told you that me and a couple dudes on my staff sometimes have to cohabitate, nobody finds a problem with that. Yeah, so it's me and 3 ladies cohabitating because that's how the business gets done.
How do you avoid toxic women? Give me. I mean, because obviously, you like women.
I do. And I probably like toxic ones more than anybody. That's because...
I asked you this.
No, hold on. Because toxic women are exciting. And that's just a fact.
And I don't know, you guys, I just think I have a really big problem with that. To me, it was just like the whole the whole celebrity call out part was just like the last thing that I was caring about. I was like, oh, well, someone's gonna have some balls here and talk about the industry for real.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't.
He clearly came on the show to just do this.
Yeah, that's
because he came right out. It's like when he came right out, he just went right in.
Well, even Shannon was like.
He just came right in and started talking about these people, and I just thought to myself,
why?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna keep watching it because I didn't know if we were gonna do a show on this or not.
Well, we got some clips.
I kept watching it just so no one would say, oh, well, you didn't watch the whole thing. You know what I mean? But all I kept thinking is if he's ever going to say anything, or is he going to have some proof? But he's not. I mean, he's doing what women do. Yeah. Women sit around and gossip. Yeah. That's what they do. And now men do it.
It's like
publicly. And then I have to indict the public as well. Yeah, because not just him. Yeah. It's that how quickly people are so willing to just believe anything anybody says at any time. And just take it as fact with no real proof. Just
take it.
Imagine if that were you. If someone just, with no real proof, went and just said anything about you. Can you imagine? No one's saying that he's not telling the truth. What we're saying is that he came with no proof. Yeah. So it looks like he's just sitting there running his mouth about something that happened years ago with people that aren't defending, now have to defend themselves. You know what I mean? But to me, it's so girly. I can't stand when I see men, particularly black men, you know what I mean, just sit there and
talk like this.
You know, these two are sitting there on a couch drinking, cognac, trying to pretend like he is somehow morally superior to them. This man played a pimp, and it was funny. Don't get me wrong. It was funny, but you are no more morally better than anybody else, really. I know you like to think you are. I know you try to throw people under the bus, but all of us are flawed, and all of us can be deceptive, and all of us can lie. All of us can lie. Well, all of us are sinners. You know what I mean?
If you're criticizing the roles that these men played, right? Like the people wearing the dresses and stuff like that, I have a problem with it too, y'all. Don't get me wrong. I don't know. I don't want to think too hard into that, but it is odd. So him saying that makes sense. That it is kind of odd they would do that. So that part, I understand what he's saying, but the problem with him talking about that and not talking about him playing a role as a pimp is just like, but you see. But if you're saying that a black man being in a dress is immoral, okay,
sometimes I go to the strip club. Sometimes I smoke. Like, I smoke with. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so again,
it's like
what you're doing is you're trying to make it seem like, well, I didn't do anything that bad. Right. But again, you really didn't say anything. You said you came up on the you came and sat there and threw people under the bus, really, with no real facts, no real receipts. You know what I mean? And so again, it's like you really you telling yourself sometimes too when you do stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just like,
because again, I wasn't even looking at the
and
celebrity
my point is
stuff,
more of the intent.
Yes, that's
why
yes.
were you doing that?
That's the problem.
What were you doing that for? If you were doing that because you're worried about young black men,
because you know,
and the images young black men have. Well, you know, hey,
you got 8 children. I mean, I wouldn't blame you if you. But why are you doing this?
But again, but that wasn't it either. It was all about the fact that they got somewhere quicker than you, or they did things differently than you. They make more money than you, or it was this sort of, it's kind of petty. Like it wasn't anything for anything greater than yourself. Now Epstein's list is being dripped out, drips and drabs, and the 2024 is the time of truth. Well then,
tell the truth.
Then tell the truth.
Because
and come with receipts. Don't just tell the truth, because unlike just like that Epstein list, nobody has the guts to really talk about the real people. Only these people that really have no power, who have mostly sold their soul. We all know what he's saying is possibly true. I mean, we've all been talking about that for years, so that's nothing new. But what is true is the people that really count, the people who solicit kids, the people who...
That's what I'm interested in.
Right.
Because
Hollywood has been disgusting since Shirley Temple.
Yes.
I mean, if you heard her story and the things they made with that little girl. What I'm saying is that no one believes... I mean, just look at politics alone. Yeah. How can a whole entire town believe one way?
Yeah. How's that possible?
They all believe in the I don't want to say it.
Oh, the shot.
Yeah, they all believe in the shot. They all believe in feminism. They all believe in they all hate Donald Trump. Yeah. They all hate, you know what I mean? They all believe in climate change. They all believe in, you know what I mean? How is that?
How's that?
That's corruption. Because I do not believe that a town, they all have kids that are transgender now. How? I mean, so of course there is something weird in Hollywood.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? No one is disputing that what he's saying is not something many people have been saying about Hollywood since the 20s. When it was Hollywood land. Yeah. It was always weird. I mean, the thing is just like when I listened to Corey Feldman, I mean, at least he was trying to help child predators. I didn't feel like he was doing this for anything. I think he was it was grandstanding for himself. I'm better. I'm more moral. Yeah. I'm, I did it the hard way. I haven't heard about Katt Williams in a while now. Like he's been kind of quiet. So for him to come out and then just start, railing against all these people, I just thought that was so suspect. I was like, well, why are you doing this, by the way? I mean, because you're not saying anything groundbreaking. And so for you to do a almost 3-hour show and you have really said nothing, then I wonder why that was. Because again, I know politics. I know how the powers that be are. They use people sometimes to get us all lost over here while they do stuff over here. We get all we've been talking like this interview's over. Yeah. We've been talking. He's clipped it all up. Yeah. Shannon's gotten more subscribers and he's gotten probably broke the internet. You know what I mean? And we are talking about everybody's talking about this, but nobody is talking about Epstein's list maybe. Well, as soon as I mean, as soon as you guys were sending us the clips of this Katt Williams situation, when I saw how many views it got on Shannon's show, I immediately stopped looking at that and I started looking at other stuff because I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Because why are we all supposed to be looking at Shannon Sharpe and Katt Williams right now? Immediately, I'm like trying to deep dive into the news and see what's really going on that we're not looking at. His Epstein thing, the list is, this is all happening, and this war. It's, there's a lot of stuff happening that we're supposed to be. I mean, I did like they talking about Bill Gates' bunker. Yeah, that was funny. You're talking about Bill Gates' bunker, and then they just had that movie with Julia Roberts. Yeah, right. Leave the World Behind. Yeah, so which was, leave that behind. That's something. Yeah, you know what I mean. I would say that was more interesting than the whole show. I think he actually knows. I believe this man knows a lot, but the stuff that I think needs to be exposed is stuff that I don't think that he is willing to talk about. No. And I think that this putting down of his colleagues. I think that is just, when I look at the percentage of how important that was, I'm going to go with 0% important. I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell's going to go to jail for the rest of her life, and there's no client list. What'd she go to jail for then? What'd she go to jail for? She has no client list? Or does she? She does. She does. They keep saying they're gonna expose it, but I know. Yeah. Y'all. It's people on that list. Man, these are the people that have their finger on the button. Yeah, this is it. Those are people that above Katt Williams' pay grade. There is no, and he knows who they are. But by no means is anyone, including these presidents, including nobody, no media outlet is ever
touching that,
going to touch that hot potato.
Nope. Not Katt Williams.
So you talking about Kevin Hart don't mean nothing to me.
Kevin Hart and the dress don't mean nothing. Kevin Hart allegedly being with sleeping his way to the top, I guess you could say. That don't mean nothing. The
Epstein list gave 2 sacrifices. That was Bill Clinton and the Prince Andrew.
And Prince Andrew.
And they gave out those names so we shut up.
Yeah.
So we know there's some big names on there. And then all the other lists that they have kind of put out that's been on the internet, they had like Tom Hanks on it and all those other things that we can't be sure if that list is correct or something.
It's all hearsay.
It's all hearsay, so we can't really say that it was. But what is taking so long to put that list out there? Because I have a feeling that it's world leaders, judges, all kinds of people are on that list that it could ruin a lot.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
there's some big names on there too, and I don't. But we'll never know. They're not gonna put that list.
Never gonna put that.
Like Kara said, the people who are on that list had their finger on the button. I ain't gonna see that list. But you know, like, so when I see things like with this, I see how easily it's a great experiment though to look at what happened with this Katt Williams thing. So I thought it was fascinating. I thought the attention this got was fascinating because I'm like, wow, you know, like overnight this guy got 12 million views overnight. And so everyone is so eyes on this. And I'm like, whenever I see that though, and the first thing I think is, okay, but let's turn around for a minute. Because what's going on behind us?
You know what I mean? Like, you know, I remember when Joe Rogan, when they started talking about the vaccine, and I remember Joe Rogan was talking to somebody, but I remember he said, can you believe that so many
I remember him saying
him saying this, can you believe that they're doing this to us in America? And Joe Rogan said, yes, I can believe it. I can believe that they're doing this to us. What I can't believe is how quickly Americans just fell in line.
It doesn't take any time.
And then that's how I feel about this Katt Williams.
Me too.
Thing. Look how quickly we just went to gossip. Woo! Look how shallow we all are.
Didn't take
I watched the show. I'm just saying, but look how shallow the world is to just out people and to and it's fun because it's not you.
Right.
Because I'm saying until it's you, then it's just entertainment. So he just entertained us and basically did what D.L. Hughley used to do. Just
at other people's expense.
At other people's expense, but just he basically just roasted people.
He just roasted people
publicly with no receipt.
Right. The other thing you guys were sending us was Taraji P. Henson. She's upset about her money. She was on Gayle King's podcast and our Sirius Radio, I guess, and she cried.
And if I can't fight for them coming up behind me, then what the fuck am I doing? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, don't apologize.
She sure is not showing a good look for feminists, crying.
Don't cry.
Stop crying.
Okay.